Did you know that just one lifetime ago, South Korea and the Philippines had nearly the same economic starting line? People click expecting to see who's richer today. What they don't expect is how one set of decisions compounded for decades while another stalled. Stay with me, because this story isn't about who failed, it's about how systems quietly decide outcomes. This is a calm, factual comparison of Korean economic strength versus the Philippines, not a debate, not a ranking show. We'll look at how policy, institutions, education, and industrial strategy shaped two very different results, and what that teaches us about economic development today. The central question is simple. How did South Korea build a high-income industrial economy while the Philippines, rich in people and resources, did not? The answer is uncomfortable, but deeply educational. In the 1950s, both countries emerged from war-damaged and poor. The Philippines had higher literacy and closer ties to Western markets. Korea had little capital and massive destruction. Few would have predicted the outcome we see today. South Korea chose export-driven industrialization early, manufacturing first, consumption later. The Philippines leaned towards services, imports, and consumption-led growth. Both paths can work. Only one compounds fast. Korea built institutions that enforced long-term planning, even when it was painful. The Philippines struggled with policy continuity. This difference didn't show immediately, but over time it became decisive. Korea treated education like physical infrastructure, aligned tightly with industry needs: engineers, technicians, managers. The Philippines produced talent too, but often for export, not domestic industry. Here's where discomfort sets in. Human capital without domestic opportunity becomes economic leakage. Remittances help, but they don't replace factories. Korea aggressively supported key industries, steel, shipbuilding, electronics, then forced them to compete globally. The Philippines relied more on market forces with weaker coordination between state and industry. Industrial depth compounds. Each factory creates suppliers, skills, and innovation. Services grow, but they don't anchor supply chains the same way. Every economy faces shocks. Korea used crises to restructure and upgrade. The Philippines often used them to stabilize and survive. Both are rational, only one accelerates transformation. Over time, productivity diverged. Korean firms learned to do more with fewer workers. Philippine growth relied more on labor quantity than productivity gains. Korea's state was intrusive but focused. The Philippines state was more open but fragmented. Neither model is perfect, but coherence matters more than ideology. This isn't abstract. Korean workers endured decades of pressure for future gains. Filipino workers often sought opportunity abroad. Different burdens, different outcomes. By the 2000s, Korea had built an innovation ecosystem. The Philippines had a resilient service economy. One produces patents, the other produces stability. Once industrial ecosystems mature, late entry becomes expensive. This is why development gaps persist, not because of culture, but timing and policy sequence. The Philippines has begun reform: manufacturing revival, infrastructure investment, skills alignment. The gap isn't destiny, but closing it requires patience. Korea's model came with costs: aging population, intense pressure, inequality. Strength has trade-offs. Economic strength isn't just GDP, it's resilience, opportunity, and adaptability. On these measures, the Philippines shows quiet advantages. Here's the educational takeaway. Development isn't about copying winners, it's about sequencing decisions correctly for your context. The gap didn't appear because one country worked harder. It appeared because one locked in compounding earlier. In a fragmented global economy, late developers have new opportunities, but less room for error. You clicked expecting a comparison of strength. What you learned was a lesson in how strength is built, slowly, deliberately, and often invisibly. This story isn't finished. Economic paths can change, but only if institutions, skills, and industry move together. If this helped you understand why economic gaps exist, not just that they do, comment which factor mattered most to you: education, industry, or institutions. Share this with someone who thinks growth is just about hard work, and subscribe for calm, educational stories that explain how the world really develops.